Hey, and welcome back to Game Talk. I'm your host, Evan Beyond. Today I'm joined by Connor.
Hey, guys.
And Mike.
Hello.
And I thought today we would talk about PC gaming, how we got into PC gaming, and how we currently feel about the state of PC gaming. And I know probably this topic is a long time coming, and perhaps we've even discussed aspects of it in the past, but I've built a PC, finally, right? And I'm somewhat regularly using it to play video games now, which is
apparently only strategy games.
Well, yeah, we can get to that, but I must say I love it. I love looking at it and I love using it. And it's
you record on it now, right?
Yeah, I'm recording on it. This is the second episode that will come out with me recording on the PC, I believe. And it's just really neat. And as someone who's gotten into this perhaps much later than most people listening to this, as well as you two, I do feel like a sense of pride every time I turn it on because I built this thing with my two hands. You know, I picked the parts and I spent the labor putting it together and the troubleshooting.
$1,000 for the sense of pride and accomplishment.
Right, yeah. But it is,
I'm just making fun of the EA thing.
Yeah, it is a sort of,
I totally agree with you. Like,
yeah.
It's a different experience than a console because you very much, like, I don't know, people make analogs to, like, how Jedi have to build their lightsabers and stuff, which is, like, super nerdy, but also kind of apt.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, like, obviously you could just order, like, a pre-built PC, but, like, there is something to the fact of, like, you know, putting it together with your own hands, doing the research, picking the exact parts you want, and, like, just seeing it all come together. I still remember the first time I flipped it on and all the LEDs came on and the fans turned on. It was a magical sort of thing. Like, I didn't foresee feeling that way, and it was great.
And you earned it, too, because it didn't come easy.
Yeah, so I guess a little bit of background. So I actually started the build for this during COVID, right? So, like,
around the same time I built mine.
I think so, yeah. Right. So, like, this was still in the thick of COVID, no vaccines yet, you know, like 2020, I believe this was.
Yeah.
And I had ordered a series of parts, and I received all of them, and I put my PC together, but the only thing I was missing was a graphics card. And obviously, I wanted a 30 series car, specifically a 3070, and those were almost impossible to come by at the time. And I did, you know, try, right? Like, I it's not like I was F5ing every day like a maniac, but, like, I did proactively keep an eye out, but no such luck until here we are in 2022, right? Like, a few months ago.
Crypto's crashing, stuff's finally available again.
Yeah, a few months ago, I was able to get my hands on a 3070 Ti, and I thought, okay, yeah, like, I am overpaying a little bit for this, but I believe this is probably the closest I'm going to get to building the PC I want, and the opportunity has presented itself, so why not? So I did it and installed it, and after a little troubleshooting, I have a PC now, and it's great. But yeah, obviously you two have been PC gaming for years and years and years now. Why don't
your
you
experience
guys,
starting out was vastly different from mine, because when I got into PC gaming, it was not more expensive than a console for me. It was like PS3, Xbox 360 era. Both of those were like $400 or something, I think, or more.
Well, PS3 was $600 when it came out.
Yeah, this was later in the lifespan.
Yeah,
but and I already had a PS3, but I built my first PC. I think it was $450, something like that, and it was not great. It was like a little stronger than a PS3 or an Xbox 360, but those consoles were like 5 or 6 years old at this point, so of course it was stronger than they were.
So you must have been like, what, middle school?
Yeah, I was in middle school. My dad helped me build it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I didn't really pick out a lot of parts. No, that's not true. No, I did pick out all the parts for this. I did a bad job picking out the parts.
Oh yeah,
like,
you were so young.
I think my first graphics card, it was like a GTS 450. It was before GTX even.
Okay, yeah.
Or it was like weaker than GTX, I forget. But it was an NVIDIA card. And it did okay. I didn't have a 1080p monitor, so it was like 1366 by 768, I remember. And because I was at such a low resolution, games ran pretty dang well on it, and I had a good time. I was able to run most games at that resolution at like high or ultra for my $450 PC.
Hey, your resolution was better than the console contemporaries at the time.
Really? Yeah, they were
720.
720, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was running games on ultra settings better, and I mean that was Battlefield 3 was like the big PC game I played on that. I played that with my buddies.
Nice, yeah.
Battlefield 3 and Battlefield Bad Company 2 were like the big ones.
Yeah,
my actual first like PC gaming exposure, it was all MMOs. I was playing like MapleStory didn't need a good computer, but like Mabinogi, Flife, a ton of like terrible Korean MMOs that I played.
Oh yeah, I mean if we're counting the actual games, right? Like my history with MMOs as well. Like I think we all have a history with MMOs.
I don't really. It was a huge upgrade for Minecraft too. I forgot about that. I was playing Java Minecraft a ton, and I could like finally play it at a decent frame rate, and that was incredible.
Yeah, I remember Minecraft being a defining PC experience for me. But yeah, like
Minecraft is the stress tester for your PC in that era of game.
Oh, and Spore was a big one too, because my old computer could barely run Spore. It was like that was a big one that I broke in the new PC with. I was very excited.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. I've only had 3 PCs that I built, and that was the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't foresee myself replacing this. I want at least 10 years out of this thing, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Before I seriously replace, like, all the parts or whatever, but...
Yeah, and I ended up selling that PC later to a friend. Actually, in retrospect, I kind of overcharged him. But I ended up selling it to a buddy for like $400, maybe $300. Either way, kind of overcharged him a little, probably. Mm-hmm. But he just wanted a PC to like play Skyrim on and stuff. And it might have only been $200, and $200 actually would have been a fair price. It was a really long time ago. Anyway, I built my second PC, and that time my budget was like $800. So this time I'm like well into like more expensive
mid-range
console territory. Yeah. But this one was like, it was stronger than a PS4 and an Xbox One. And I bought it before a PS4 or Xbox One were even available, like well before.
Yeah, that checks out.
And had a good time on it. Lasted me until 2020. It got me all through high school, basically. Very fun. Fun times were had. I still have it, actually. I still use... that was when I got into like incremental upgrades as I went. So it probably wasn't stronger when I first built it, but by the time the PS4 and Xbox One came out, it was stronger because I had upgraded the graphics card and stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy to me, like, as someone who did this recently, like, built a PC recently, to hear that you did this in, like, 6th grade or whatever is pretty crazy, you know?
Well,
like,
my dad works in IT, so I had very competent help, so...
How about you, Mike? What was your
See, my
intro?
parents were, like, pre-built animals. They just, like, pre-built. I didn't build my first PC completely build mine from scratch until I was out of college. It's like 2018, 2019.
Really?
Yeah. No, I had a pre-built before that I had just kind of cobbled together parts into. So,
but even cobbling together parts, that's half the experience.
Like
I had been working with computers before that though, because all my computers previous to that had some kind of upgrades or installation or anything. Like I think I installed my first video card when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah, that was basically because my dad did most of it, like actual hardware stuff. Like I was there and helping.
Mm-hmm.
I literally learned the computer internals by myself on my own in like 6th or 7th grade.
No, my dad built me like
maybe before that.
Insane computers before I built my own. I had this like behemoth PC. It wasn't even that good, but it was like gigantic. Like it was like the size of a desk, and it like had 2 processors in it, which is like nuts. Like 2 graphics cards is not like ridiculous. That's a thing people do, but I've never seen another computer
2
that had
CPUs.
2 processors in it. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it didn't even work that well. It was kind of wild.
But it must have been like a really good bonding experience. Being as young as you are, building that with your dad. Yeah.
And my dad, where he works IT, he had like the parts that don't matter that much. Like I don't know that we paid for my motherboard or RAM, and I know that we didn't pay for my case. Like he just had dead computers laying around, and we like salvaged a case, and it was like an office computer case. It didn't look good, like, but, and this was like long before, like, gaming hardware wasn't really, like, it existed, but it wasn't nearly as big as it is now, so you were not seeing these PCs that have, like, the big tempered glass side panels, and...
Yeah, that's a recent thing.
RGB hadn't really kicked up yet. I remember, it was like 2012 or something, I think, when I built my second PC, and it has this like little tiny window on the side that you can see in, and I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world.
See, mine doesn't have any tempered glass sides. Mine's a solid black case, and I bought it intentionally because it didn't have a tempered glass side.
I like the tempered glass side. I love seeing into my PC. I was like very careful with my cable management on my newest build and stuff.
Yeah,
and
mine's...
I'm not a big fan of tempered glass.
It's not for everybody. You got to keep it clean. You got to like... It also shatters easy, which is scary. But
so I've got
punch the side of my monitor or
black tinted tempered glass panel on the side of my PC, so you can see into it, but it's like tinted slightly, so it's not completely transparent. And it's a really nice look, and I like.
Mine's
it a lot.
ever so slightly tinted, but like my RGB is not real bright. I can see all the details on my motherboard. I got like a black motherboard and everything. I picked attractive parts and everything. So
yeah, my PC looks quite sleek. Maybe I don't know. Could probably send you guys a screenshot or something.
I have in my new case. My old case didn't have this, but it has like a huge box that you can stick all your ugly hard drives into and stuff, so you don't have to look at them. And that's like huge.
Yeah, I have something similar. Actually, I'm not using any HDDs right now. I was thinking I could buy one for cheap, but like
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently using an M2 SSD.
I have like a bulk 4 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, I was thinking
I have
get
a
something
1
like that.
terabyte. Or maybe 2 terabyte SSD that I put my games on and stuff. And I've been thinking about buying another M2 because prices are going down on them. Especially with the Steam Deck being out. So like people are buying them left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say the M2, like as someone, so let me backtrack a little bit, right? So like I've played PC games my whole life, right? Like my parents had a pre-bought like Dell PC just for like, you know, as the home computer or whatever. Like as I was growing up, yeah, I played like RuneScape on it, MapleStory on it, tried to play RPGs on it, right? Like nothing too demanding or intensive, but like, and that thing was running like Windows Vista or whatever on it. Like it was definitely a throwback machine, but like I could run the games I wanted to run. Like, and those MMOs are designed to be like highly scalable, right? Because like all sorts of people who aren't necessarily like, you know, building gaming PCs or playing these games. And yeah, so like if we're counting that, I've been PC gaming forever, right? Like
I count that because yeah, like I count my early days of Minecraft, and like even once I had a gaming PC, like it was still Minecraft, Terraria, MMOs for a while before I like fully replaced my console with
and
let's
not. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Like the bulk of my gaming on PC before I really got like a proper gaming PC was all in RTSs and real-time turn-based strategy games. Like I was playing, like the first PC game I ever played was Command and Conquer Red Alert 1.
Yeah.
So you guys probably didn't have this might be an experience like kind of specific to me. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have felt this, but I don't know how many of our listeners will relate. But I got into PC gaming in middle school long before anybody else I knew did, which meant that I had nobody to play any games with other than Minecraft. Like,
yeah, I distinctly remember middle school, high school, everyone was on.
It was
Xbox.
I had a PlayStation,
yeah.
so it was miserable.
Mostly 360.
Very late high school that like some of my friends started getting jobs and were able to like buy a laptop or build a PC, and suddenly I had some people to play with, but they were too busy working, so I still didn't get to play with them much. It really wasn't until college when people started getting really into PC gaming, and then crossplay was like the game changer. Like crossplay is really what introduced the no compromises PC to the world, because even when you could afford like the best PC in the world, you weren't going to be able to play with your friends that couldn't do that. And now you can. So there's like, it's really just kind of perfect now. Especially like, it really, there's never been a better time to be a PC gamer other than the fact that it's really expensive now.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to go back, because I really do believe that the natural equilibrium is that PCs cost about what a console does, but you have to like put more work into it and you get a better experience for that work. That's like where it thrives, and we're not there right now. Right now, it's still way more expensive to build a PC. Unless you get like a Steam Deck or something, but I don't have a Steam Deck, so I can't really talk about that meaningfully.
But yeah, I guess just to fill in the gaps for my history, right? Like starting in college, I had a laptop that I used for obviously college, but also for gaming, right? So it was a gaming capable laptop. And that's where I really got introduced to the 4X strategy games that I still love today, like Civilization 5. I've told this story many times that freshman year of college, I got introduced to that and it was like getting sucked into a black hole.
Yeah.
And I've loved PC strategy games ever since. And my only sort of avenue to experience those up until now was my laptop, right? And, you know, since then I've replaced my gaming laptop with a better gaming laptop, but like gaming laptop was my way to experience PC gaming for many, many years. It's only earlier this year that I finally built a dedicated PC, and it's definitely better, I think. Like, you know, like my laptop right now has a quote unquote 3070 in it, right? But it's a laptop 3070, not like
so
a real
3060, basically.
Yeah, 3070, but like, yeah, like my PC can run circles around my laptop, even though on paper they have similar specs.
Yeah, NVIDIA really shouldn't. Their naming for their laptop GPUs is very misleading.
Yeah.
Because it really is. It's a level down. So if you have a 3070 in your laptop, what you really have is a 3060, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess another thing I want to talk about is like how you decide where you're going to buy your games now that you are split between PC and console. Because it wasn't like this immediately for me, but my philosophy is now essentially if it's available on PC, that's where I'm going to play it, because that's where I'm going to have the best experience almost every time.
So I guess I'll get this out of the way because I'm still a bit of a weirdo, right? Like PlayStation is still my primary place to play. But if I have friends who are playing a game on PC, or like if it's a strategy game that I'm really interested in and it's available everywhere else, I'll still buy it on PC. Right? Like, so PC, it's like a weird kind of separation thing in my head, right? Like, PC still for me is where I go to play my strategy games, right? And I'm like okay with that, and or play multiplayer games with my friends if they're doing, like, for instance, my cousin and my friend were all playing The Forest, and The Forest, if you guys don't know, is like a first-person survival game. And it's available on everything, but, you know, they were on PC, so I played it on PC with them, and it was great. I had a great time. It looked really good. It ran at a high frame rate, and I wouldn't get that on console, so definitely enjoyed that.
Yeah. Do you think your PC would ever be like where you go for shooter games too? Like, do you think you'll ever
See,
make that
I still haven't.
that a lot of people do?
I still haven't made the jump to
It'll be
comfortable with keyboard and mouse.
Painful for like a while. It took me a very long time to get good with a mouse.
But that's the thing, like I haven't really tried playing a shooter yet. I suppose I could give it a shot, but like I've just been playing, you know, strategy games, multiplayer games, Stanley Parable,
playing Valorant with a controller.
Yeah, that was really painful. Like last year or whatever when I decided to do that. Definitely don't think I'll ever do that again, but
it's really funny that you did it though.
Yeah. But like I imagine for you guys, right, like when you jumped to PC, that was the jump, right? Like now you play everything on PC unless it's like an exclusive like on a Nintendo console or
not at first.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, not at first.
Okay.
At first it was actually like it mattered whether or not my friends, because I had a PS3. So if I had friends that were going to get it on PlayStation, that was where I would get it. Or you know, there also were like a lot of games just didn't come to PC. They weren't necessarily PS3 exclusives. They just didn't come to PC. They were console exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
And that came up a lot. And then there's for a long time, I don't really bother with this anymore, but for a long time, my Nintendo Switch, I was like, do I want it portable? Do I buy it, you know, indie games? Do I buy them on Switch or on Steam? And now I've pretty much landed, I'm always going to buy it on Steam because I don't play video games in public very often anymore. But yeah, I wouldn't say that it was like an immediate, like, I'm a PC gamer now. It was a slow transition for me.
Yeah, I don't know if like I'm mid transition or I'm just content where I am right now, but like I pretty much use my PC, Switch, and PS5 like almost to an even degree. And the one I use the least is the Xbox, which is
I mean, the
a bit
Xbox,
redundant at this point, but
there's basically no point in it when you have Game Pass on PC, like, and all the Xbox games on PC, and there basically are no Xbox console exclusives.
yeah, not anymore. But yeah, I mean, like, that's where I am right now, and I'm totally content with that. Like, I enjoy having options, I guess.
Yeah. I'm kind of at the point right now, and until some of the recent developments, I was going to buy a PS5 eventually. Like, I wanted to play Spider-Man. I wanted to play a couple games. But now I'm at a point where, like, I really just can't justify buying a PS5 anymore. It just seems like a bad purchase for me personally, because I'd rather play them on PC anyway, even if I have to wait a year.
Right, yeah.
And that said, I still, you haven't had to deal with it much yet, maybe, but sloppy ports are still a plague. They finally fixed Elden Ring. That or I fixed my PC. I don't know which one it was, but I finally, got a fair fight with the Elden Beast.
That's crazy. It took months for that to happen. Yeah, that's something I definitely wary of.
Yeah, it's not fun, but it does happen.
But yeah, what about you, Mike?
I kind of made the transition all at once because I'd always been a PC gamer at heart, even during my console era. Like, I'd still be playing mostly PC games.
Right.
It's just at the time I had a $200 laptop that could barely function, let alone play a game, so I just play console instead. As my PC got more powerful, I played less and less console games to the point where I don't even know where my PS4 is anymore. I've misplaced it and it's gone forever.
Yeah, I imagine like your kind of progression is how most people progress when they get into PC gaming. Like my cousin has been into PC gaming for years and years now. And I think the last console he owned was maybe the original PS4 or something. Like like most people sort of grow out of consoles or whatever. But and especially like you said now, Connor, now that like everything is coming to PC, that's more justifiable than ever. Unless you're want to play Nintendo games or something.
Because the PC is now. It's not the equivalent of a PlayStation or an Xbox. It's equivalent to a PlayStation and an Xbox, and possibly a better experience than either, depending on how nice of a PC you build. And that's a hard sell, to get a console when that exists, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess
especially because you need a computer in your house anyway. It's very difficult to live without a computer of some kind.
Yeah, but I imagine most people have a laptop, like. People who aren't gamers or whatever have a laptop as their computer and not a desktop.
Yeah, but say you need a new laptop and that timing lines up with when you would want to build a gaming PC. The $200 to $400 you would have spent on your laptop can go towards your PC budget, and suddenly those prices don't seem that bad anymore.
Right. But yeah, this does lead into the discussion of PC gaming where it is today, and I would argue that it's never been better. Right? We're kind of in an unprecedented time where previously these exclusives were always relegated to console, and that was the main reason, right? To get a console, right? You bought a console, you bought a PlayStation to play Uncharted, to play, God of War, to play The Last of Us, etc. You bought an Xbox to play Halo, to play Gears of War. But now, first with Microsoft, right? Everything is day and date with PC. Has been like that for a while now. And now even PlayStation, right? Their exclusives, their biggest exclusives that I would thought would probably not come to PC for many, many years are getting announced, right? We're getting Spider-Man, we're getting The Last of Us.
Spider-Man is insane.
Yeah, and it's to me, obviously Spider-Man is their biggest game, but The Last of Us is something I associate so much with PlayStation. I feel like that is basically their DNA. And the fact that they're throwing their remake of The Last of Us on PC shows that, PlayStation is definitely a changed company, right? Everything coming to PC within a year of release, or at least that's how it seems, right? With The Last of Us 1, right? Like coming out this fall, already announced a PC port, right? God of War, like obviously these are all older games now, but like with their new PC strategy with Nixus, like we're going to see more and more PC games. So you're going to get your Sony exclusives on PC now. You already get Microsoft exclusives on PC. So I guess
the weird indie games too that like never make it to console.
You get all the indie games, right? Like,
Yeah.
So I guess like if we're being objective about it, the only real reason to buy a console now is for Nintendo games,
or for the console experience. Like I guess you could argue that that's a subjective reason, but you buy a PlayStation,
Yeah.
you know your game's gonna work. You know that.
And as someone who argued that in the past, but like couldn't really back it up because I don't have a PC. Now that I have a PC, like I definitely still respect and back that viewpoint that like there is something to the console experience, a really simplified, like you just turn it on, boom, you're in the game, right? Like there is something to that.
I mean, if there wasn't something to that experience, then all these companies wouldn't be working so hard to create that experience on PC with like Steam Big Picture and stuff.
Yeah.
So
With PC, like it's a double-edged sword, right? Like it's a lot more variables in play, right? Like a lot more things going on, right? Which could be good, right? Like you can install mods, you can tweak the graphic settings, etc. But like the downside to that is that like if something goes wrong, you're the one who's going to have to like figure out what's wrong.
yeah, and it's never been better than it is now.
Agreed.
Like,
yeah.
I remember times in the past I would download these terrible free Korean MMOs and I would spend more time trying to get them to work than I would playing them, because that was before. It might not have been before Steam, but it was before Steam had non-Valve games on it. It was before, it was before stuff was standardized, and you'd have to like download drivers, you'd have to like, troubleshoot all these different things and like mess with settings and all this. And now you can be pretty assured when you buy a PC game, it's either going to run immediately and be fine, or you should probably just return it, because the amount of work you're going to have to do to get that game to work is probably stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, with exceptions like Elden Ring, where it kind of works, but it's a terrible port, and then they fix it down the line. That happens a lot. There's a lot of that comes out of, I think it's worse Japanese games than Western, although that's not necessarily fair, because what was that big game last year that ended up Deathloop? Deathloop was a terrible PC port.
I think we are in the era, though, where PC ports are getting better and better and more like they're designed for PC rather than being a shoddy port from console.
Yeah.
Because the Xbox 360 generation, PS3 generation, had a lot of ports that were just directly ports of console games.
Yeah, Skyrim is so infamous for how terrible its inventory was to use on PC. That was like one of the first mods everybody installed, was a better
Sky
inventory.
UI, yeah. Sky UI, literally every game from that generation when it was released on PC has one of the worst inventories. Other than, I think, Borderlands 2's inventory is not bad.
No, Borderlands 2 is pretty good, but I think Borderlands and Battlefield were both kind of famously designed PC first and then ported to consoles.
That's kind of how you have to do it, because PC uses a different control scheme.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes more sense nowadays too, because like especially with these consoles that are just basically PCs, just with a fancy custom OS slapped over them, right? Like,
yeah,
it's easier than ever to develop your games, for
the thing
Xbox, PC, PlayStation.
The thing about designing for console first, it's really hard to make a good PC UI, but a good console UI just has to be functional.
Yeah,
well,
there's different
also
standards there.
Right, like you're also dealing with a different mode of input, right? Like with consoles, more often than not, you're dealing with a controller, and you have to design the UI around making sense with a controller. Whereas
you can just throw
PC,
a list in there.
You have a mouse.
When I'm on a controller, if the inventory works, I'm usually like, all right, this works, I'm fine. When I'm on PC, there's like a certain amount of like speed I'm used to being, and efficiency. Right. I'm used to being able to do stuff with a mouse and like get stuff done.
What really bothers me on PC UI is any hold to interact.
Oh my god!
In the menu, No Man's Sky does it.
Yeah.
Like that should be an option to turn off, especially on PC where I'm deliberately doing an action and it's never a misinput.
Yeah. I have one huge beef, and I brought it up on the show before, and I'll never understand it. So many people have their PC hooked up to a TV or have Steam Link available to them or something right now. Why are developers taking split screen out of their games on PC? And they are, in many cases, deliberately just removing the option, because you can get a mod, like the code is still there, it still runs, the setting, like the option in the menu is just not there anymore.
Well,
I don't know. Why
I would
are you
almost
doing
argue
this?
that's not even just a PC problem. I think just gaming in general, unfortunately, is moving away from split screen
Couch
co-op.
co-op.
Right. But
couch
even
co-op,
games that
yeah.
come with couch co-op on console have it removed in PC a lot of the time. Like Minecraft, for instance. Minecraft has couch co-op on every console. Why does Bedrock Minecraft not have a split screen option on PC? There's no
Yeah,
excuse
that's
for
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's just this perception of like you're going to be at your desk or whatever and on a monitor and not on your couch with like others.
And it's literally like the same executable that runs on Xbox One and PC, I'm pretty sure. And the only difference is they have to go in and make sure they take out couch co-op. Like, I would love to sit and play Minecraft on my couch with people. It's such a good game for that. And like, this isn't new. This is like Left 4 Dead 2 did not have split screen on PC. Granted, the culture was different. Not a lot of people had their PC hooked up to a TV back then. But
Yeah, back in the day, people had like one monitor.
yeah, but yeah, that's the other thing. Everybody's got two monitors now. Why can't I have one monitor? My friend on a controller has the other monitor, and we play a dang game together. Like
Today's hot controversial take: if you have a PC and you don't have two monitors, what are you doing?
do you have two monitors, Ahmed?
I don't, but
I
was
actually have a
actually
counterpoint.
I was planning on getting more than
Two
one.
monitors has changed my life. I went from one monitor to two monitor, and it's changed everything.
All right,
'Cause
so
now I can, do things on one screen.
Yeah, I
while
know.
having
Like,
something up on the other.
At one point
my
for
counter to
work,
that, Mike,
at one
is
point for
ultra-wide
work, I want to say just really quick. One point for work, I believe I had 4 monitors, and it was just glorious.
it's a game changer.
But like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing game development on one monitor. It's painful. Like,
Oh yeah.
Unity alone takes up 2 monitors for me. But I will say the exception, at least for productivity, an ultra-wide monitor, especially at Windows 11, has these features to like really easily snap windows to like certain sizes on your screen. If you've got like a 4K ultra-wide monitor, you have in a literal sense, you have more screen real estate than I have with my 2 monitors.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that
I
doesn't
was
work
thinking
super
a
well
lot
for-
about like if I ever want to upgrade my monitor, ultra wide is probably the way I want to go.
I kind of want the QD OLED ultra wide.
The Alienware one.
Yeah, there's only one.
That looks really good. Yeah.
It looks really good. I've been like I've like had it in my cart and stuff looking at it. But I will say that doesn't work well for one use case, which is I'm playing a video game. I want that video game to be full screen, but I also want to watch YouTube or have a live stream on my second monitor. You just can't do that on an ultra wide monitor. You can't full screen a game without having it take up the whole screen, obviously.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's super useful if you want to do any kind of content creation too, because having that second monitor while
absolutely.
streaming
Oh yeah, if you want to
is
stream, you need your chat. Yeah.
so important.
So I was like super proud of this new desk I built and stuff, but I was like looking and I was like, I can just keep my nice monitor now, get rid of my dumpy old monitor, and then add an ultra wide. But if I add the ultra wide, I do not know that I have room for my current monitor anymore. And that's kind of or not without it being blocked by my mic arm and stuff. This is kind of getting very into the nature of my setup and stuff, but
I mean, that's all part of the PC experience, I think.
it's so customizable. Like, I mean, I guess you could have this on console, but it makes a lot more sense on PC. I've got my like very clean desk with my very nice mouse and mechanical keyboard, and I've got my monitor on like a swivel, and I've got my mic on a boom arm and everything and stuff, and that's just not. It's a very comfortable setup that you're not going to see a lot of console.
I feel
rigs
like
have.
I feel like the depth of PC gaming is when you get yourself a dedicated microphone.
I would also
Like, that's
say,
when
you know
go
what?
too deep.
And there's no good reason for this. Discord is game changing for like the PC gaming landscape, and it's very annoying to me that it's not like just available on consoles. I don't understand why it's not.
I believe Discord is in the process of being integrated with PlayStation right now, which is
Okay.
going to be a huge positive because their party system is pure detritus.
Because it's not
Right
bad,
now.
right? Yeah. It's not terrible right now, but like I play a lot of games with my friends on Xbox, and they just have their laptop open and have Discord open and stuff, and that's fine, but I feel like it would be a better experience for them, especially like a lot of gaming headsets and stuff now have to have like two inputs and outputs so that you can plug it into your phone for Discord and your console for game audio. Like that's a common
They have
feature.
that now?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's mind-blowing. But Discord is such a game changer because Discord saw a market space to combine IRC chats, which were being used pretty heavily back in the day.
Dude, I was on there. I was on TeamSpeak
and
on
TeamSpeak
IRC and
it combined them both. The only people that use TeamSpeak now are armor groups because they can't use Discord for their in-game chat.
yeah.
Yeah, Discord just needs to be integrated into everything.
Yeah,
like
that's
I would
the thing
even
Discord's
argue
missing is that like I kind of wish video games could like have a pop-up come up that is like, do you want to join a local Discord for this game, instead of having to incorporate their own in-game chat, because Discord works so well that I would much rather have Discord than have a chat in the game.
I would even argue that Discord is so good, and this won't ever happen because of stigma, that like companies should adopt it for their workspace chat. You know, like it's good.
That
like,
does like I know some game development studios do.
Well, game development studios, but like Apple isn't going to do that, right? Like, but like Microsoft's not going to do that because they use like Teams or whatever. But Discord, from what I've seen, blows all the other options out of the water. And you know, like obviously companies aren't going to do that because they don't like Discord is very much associated with video games, but like just as like a communication app, it stands head and shoulders above everything else.
It does like streaming better than Zoom does.
It also like it kind of snuck up on me, but Discord has in many ways like replaced a lot of things. Like I used to use Skype a lot for one thing. I was a PC gamer back when Skype was how me and my friends talked. That was very frustrating. But like Discord has replaced TeamSpeak, it's replaced Skype, it's replaced group chats for me. Like a lot of my friends, like I don't know anybody I don't think that doesn't have Discord on their phone, and most group chats I'm in are just Discords now.
Yeah.
And that like ours, that's how we talk now. Like
we've completely abandoned Slack.
Yeah.
And
There's
plus,
only,
you know,
two
like
people that use that Slack now.
it's a great sort of equalizer from the mobile perspective, right? Because like iOS has their, you know, blue bubbles, that their Wi-Fi chats that they enjoy,
I use
right?
Snapchat for that reason.
And
as well,
like obviously, like I've talked to many iOS users who don't like texting me because they get green bubbles or whatever. Discord, it's all just Wi-Fi chatting, and that sort of evens the playing field. So
Yeah.
that's another positive for it, I guess.
Yeah. And it also like is just really nice. It's better than party systems because like I can have a Discord server and nobody's on, but I'm going to be playing a game for a bit. So I hop on the Discord server and then somebody else just sees like, oh, Connor's on. I'll hop on for a bit and we'll talk for a bit. And that like there's no competition in that market. Like you can't do that with PlayStation parties.
It is crazy
with
how they just nailed every aspect. They nailed the voice chat aspect, they nailed the video chat aspect, they nailed like the hangout aspect, like the streaming aspect, like
That's actually something me and my buddy Antonio really like to do. We were into Noita for a long time, and we would just both hop on Discord, and we'd both share our screen and toss the other's gameplay up on our second monitor, so that it's not a multiplayer game, but like we were just kind of hanging out while we played it, and we could see what the other one was doing.
Yeah,
and that was just sick. Like it was super cool. PC, and that's another thing you're not going to get on console. That's a PC exclusive.
Yeah, not yet at least.
Actually, no, that's not true. Not yet. Doesn't PlayStation 5 have?
Well, I mentioned earlier, right? That specific feature, yes, that like you can have a buddy like watch you play your game or whatever.
Not on like a second monitor, but you can have it like in a little pop-up window.
Yeah,
right?
pop up, like snap to a section of the screen, which is really nice.
Yeah, no,
But,
that's passable as getting the same.
But I do
feature.
hope like we get full Discord integration with PlayStation, because like I from firsthand experience, playing PlayStation games with my friends, like it's so frustrating. Like sometimes we just have Discord open on our phones, sometimes we use the in-game chat system. Like, be nice to have like just one unifying thing.
Yeah, the only time I like an in-game chat is like instances like Phasmophobia, where it's proximity chat.
Yeah,
That's actually like super good. And I wish more games did proximity chat, because I think proximity chat would add a lot to Minecraft, and I don't know why it's not in there by default. I think it would add a lot to a lot of games.
It does. Proximity chat makes games feel more alive.
Yeah, it weirdly, even though you talk to people less, it makes it feel more social to me.
Yeah, I think that's my
yeah.
favorite part about games like Hell Let Loose and Squad is the proximity chat, because most of like the real fun moments come through proximity chat.
Yeah.
Like, without proximity chat, I never would have made the comment that I can't fix somebody that fell from the ceiling. Like,
I mean,
proxy
it
chat
adds
enabled
like
that little interaction.
I mean, it adds so much realism, right? Like, because
Yeah.
like you can only talk to people who are next to you or near you.
I mean,
Oh my God, and being
those
able to
games do have,
negotiate.
cross group chat or like squad chat or whatever, but proximity chat is how you talk between squads.
I think it's more common in like Escape from Tarkov now, but I remember like in the early PUBG days, I remember negotiating my way out of a standoff through proximity chat, and that was just
That's
the
awesome.
coolest thing.
That's just part of the fun of proxy.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Phasmophobia does it well too.
Phasmophobia does it so well because it has the walkie-talkies that can go out, and yeah.
Like, you just hear someone making weird noises down the hall
No,
trying to taunt the ghost.
they're common in VR. Any game that supports VR is probably going to have proxy
Yes.
chat, which is nice. But yeah, this has been a wild tangent, but
I mean, it's PC related because you don't get proxy chat that often on console.
nah, it is pretty uncommon. Well, how often do people even have mics on console these days? Because nobody I know on console owns a mic anymore.
I mean, with Call of Duty getting rid of like lobby chat,
Here's the thing:
it's
like,
kind of pointless.
it's tough for me to gauge because like I mostly play single player games, but like
Yeah.
when I do play multiplayer games, obviously all my friends have mics and stuff, but like. And like I do remember like the last Call of Duty game I played was Cold War like maybe a year ago, and like you still get that like 360 era, like someone's just got something like blaring in the background,
They
like
got their music,
their
yeah.
baby's crying or something. Like I don't know, like but you just
I
go
feel
in.
like-
I always just go in and mute all before a match
Yeah.
starts. Anyway.
Like the Call of Duty experience back in the day was that lobby chat. Like you'd go back into a lobby after the game with everyone that you just fought, and then they were yelling at you.
yeah,
That's
calling
another
you
thing-
racial slurs and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of part of the experience.
Another big advantage
Unfortunately.
PC has. I do feel like most people that have a PC have a mic. I don't
Yeah.
think I know anybody that has a gaming PC that doesn't have a mic, even if it's just a laptop mic or something. But even if they don't have a mic, you cannot have a PC without a keyboard. So you have
Yeah.
communication no matter what
Yeah.
with everyone you're playing with, and that's kind of huge. Something you can't expect in a console game.
Yeah, with console games they have like the pop-up digital keyboard, but that thing is just so cumbersome to use. Like,
yeah, which is
maybe
wild
like for
because,
1 to 2 word responses, but like you can't get anything complicated communicated.
There's no reason this should be PC exclusive. I don't know if Valve like has a patent on it or something, but like the Steam controller keyboard was really good, and I could type really fast on it. Like not as fast as with a normal keyboard, but fast enough that like I could.
Wasn't
message
it
people
controlled by
around.
2 analog sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was controlled by the 2 touchpads, but there's no reason it couldn't be controlled by 2 analog sticks.
Yeah, I think when you use another controller that isn't the Steam controller but supports the input style,
Yeah.
it just uses both analog sticks.
And it works great. I don't understand why consoles haven't like adopted that style, because it works really well. Like a whole maybe
So
really
you're saying
well is an
is there a
exaggeration.
physical
but
keyboard on the controller?
no.
No.
So what are you suggesting? Just like use the
keyboard pops
touchpad as a
up.
trackpad?
No, it could be 2 sticks, but it like instead of having one cursor, you have 2 cursors, and you're not hovering over a letter. It's like almost like a cursor that moves when you move the stick. Like
Yeah, it's like a more granular input thing.
yeah, so
Interesting.
it's not like I move the stick up and the cursor goes up. It's more like if I slide the cursor up, I'm over one letter. If I push the cursor up farther, I'm over a different letter, if that makes sense. And you have 2 of them, and
Interesting.
like the left trigger presses a button on the left cursor, and the right trigger presses a button on the right cursor, and you can type really fast that way. And it really doesn't have a high learning curve. I'm doing a bad job explaining this, so if you like Google Steam controller keyboard, or even the Steam Deck has it too, I'm pretty sure, you'll see like why this is so good, and I don't understand why it's not more common. The other thing I don't understand why isn't more common is that like wildly, Nintendo is the one that got this right. But the ability to use your phone as a microphone for your video game is really smart because everyone has a phone. Like,
So I think all three can do this now.
okay.
I believe I've done this with Nintendo, I've done this with Xbox and with PlayStation. All three,
didn't know I
like
could do
their
it on
respective apps. You have to use the PlayStation app, you have to use the Xbox app, you have to use the Switch app.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good feature that they have done.
Yeah.
But you can obviously do that on PC by just using Discord as well.
Right. You guys have any final thoughts?
Nah, really.
I don't think so. I just like my PC.
Yeah, definitely glad I at the right young age
I do have
of 28,
one
I
final
built a PC.
thought.
Yeah.
That I kind of forgot to go over, which is that like this is more of a personal story where I was kind of being a bad friend, but I remember when I first got into PC gaming, I was like kind of a douche about it. I remember
You felt
like,
superior or whatever.
yeah, I would go to friends' houses and like see their 20 to 30 frames per second Xbox 360 on a 720p
Peasants.
screen, and I genuinely like it was not great. A lot of Xbox 360 games look really bad, and you can't even like really tell what's going on. And I would like whine about it and stuff. But
Connor out there like peasants.
If I
My
could go-
superior PC 60 FPS.
if I could go back in time, I would not be my own friend. I was being very
Yeah.
bad.
No, I mean
Like,
like
you have long hair at the time.
I did.
I mean,
yeah.
PC,
blonde hair.
like there
Yeah.
is that, there's
Dirty
memes of like the master race and stuff like that. So like there is like a bit of a reputation for PC gamers, like
But there was also like
flexing their superiority or whatever.
you go over and like my friends are like, yeah, you want to play? Like I was okay at shooters. I was pretty good at them. And my friends are like, oh, I want to play multiplayer with you. And then they hand me a controller, and I'm like, I can't do anything with this. I can't hit the broadside of a barn with with a stick. Like, I'm just really bad at it. So I always have been. I never really learned to play first person shooters on a controller. So I get my butt handed to me,
Yeah.
and I'm having a bad time, and that like reinforces my like being a douche about my PC. And
It's funny.
fortunately, I only ever really did it to like one or two friends, and like they just kind of like got mad, and then that was the end of it. Like it was fine, but I do regret it looking back. And I don't know. I think that's a thing a lot of kids that get into PC gaming early would go through, because kids suck.
Yeah. That's fair. All right, what have you been playing? Actually, I guess I can kick things off here. So, because I have two. The first one I want to talk about is Super Auto Pets.
Oh my god.
no.
So a lot has changed in Super Auto Pets since the last time I've spoken to it. They've introduced a new expansion pack with brand new pets, obviously, which all have different abilities, which means like completely different gameplay.
Is that the one Northern Lion refers to as pay to win?
So Pay to Win was the first expansion pack. I don't know what he's calling the second one. But more interestingly, they've also introduced a weekly pack system. So every week, I think every Sunday or something, the weekly resets and has brand new animals in it. And the animals are pulled from packs 1, 2, and 3. And it's always a different, combination of animals from those 3 packs. But what's interesting is, right, like, because the weekly changes every week, it's like the meta and the strategy also changes every week. So every week, if you play the weekly, it's like playing, with a new set of rules. And that really keeps the game, like, super fresh, right? Like, because, like, previously, you pick your pack, you play it, right? Like, you know what animals you're getting, like, you know what the potential strategies and the metas are, and then you go. The weekly allows for more, like, spontaneity and creativity, which I really think is cool. They've also added a custom pack, which you can add animals from any of the packs you own, 1 through 3, and create, like, your own custom team. I haven't really messed with that too much, but that is a cool feature, I think. But, like, I just really wanted to highlight how fun the weekly is. Because like it really just keeps the game fresh and keeps you on your toes. And I have lost more hours than I care to admit just like messing around with the weeklies over the past few weeks. But yeah, definitely a good way to give a shot in the arm to Super Auto Pets, because otherwise you were just waiting for new expansion packs. If you got bored of like the current like meta or whatever, you'd have no choice but to wait for a pack, and who knows how many months that would take to release. But now with the weekly, things stay interesting on a week-to-week basis. And I think that really is good for the health of the game. And I continue to maintain that this is just like one of the funniest games ever made. Like the little sound effects, like the weird like emoji like art style, like all of it, like
It's not emoji like, they're just emojis.
What's interesting is with the update, they have changed the art style. So it's no longer just emojis. So it's custom art, but like they still look like emojis. So it's still just like, it's just super goofy. Like the little sound effects that play when you like buy an animal, and like the pops and the little like sound effects that play when you drag and drop them. It's all just so stupid. It makes me laugh every time I play it. I don't know why, but like, I think it's a great game. It's super fun. And it's like, it's like baby's first auto battler in a sense, right? Like it's not going to be overwhelmingly complex. So if you wanted a gentle introduction into the auto battler game genre, while having like a very cute and funny experience, Super Auto Pets is a good way to do it. All right, Connor?
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of games. I tried out Sniper Elite 5. It's fine. I really didn't get far enough into it to talk about it much, but it's the only game I've played in the past week, I think. I've been very busy.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Kind of campy, very like double A feeling, kind of, as opposed to triple A.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine, I guess. I like the feature set a lot. Like it's got like a Dark Souls invasion style thing. It's got cross-platform co-op, which I haven't had a chance to try out, but the fact that it's there excites me a lot. It's fine. It's a sniper game. Sniper Elite does what it says on the box. It's on Game Pass.
Is it like a Hitman style where you like go into a level and you have a target to snipe, or like how does that work?
I think that's where it's going. I really didn't get very far into it. It's these big open levels, much like Hitman. But so far, I've just kind of been doing objectives that involve me killing people along the way. I have to assume it's going to turn into killing targets eventually, but I really haven't had time to play it much.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I watched my roommate play Sniper Elite 4, and it was like Hitman, but it was all sniping. And
Nice.
It's not funny at all. Like, it's actually kind of gratuitous.
Right. Because Hitman's very, it's got a sense of humor, which I appreciate very much.
A pretty good one, yeah.
Yeah. Mike, how about you?
Let me look at my old Steam list here. I did start playing My Friend Pedro. Finally.
Oh, yeah, I've heard good things about the game.
It's very stylish. Like, for a side-scrolling kind of shooter game, there's nothing more stylish than kicking a frying pan in the air and then spraying bullets at it so it sprays bullets in another direction. Like, there's just so many ways to cause gratuitous amounts of violence, and I love it. Like, I used a shotgun to pulp a dude, then kicked like a chunk of him into another dude to kill him. Kind of levels of gratuitous, stylish violence. And then kick flipped off a dude, and then kicked the skateboard into him. Like,
Nice.
it's just so fanciful. You're led by a talking banana. I mean,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
you're killing things because the banana told you to do it. Quite literally. But I've been having fun. I feel like I'm going to speedrun it at some point. I see the potential in me actually enjoying playing it through quickly.
Nice. You got anything else?
I played more V Rising, and I changed my opinion on it a little.
Really?
Yeah, it actually gets good after a little bit, especially if the resources turned up and everything. Like, the combat actually is kind of fun.
I might have
I'll
to play
give it
more,
that.
but then I really haven't. I haven't touched it since last week.
Yeah, you just have to turn the resources up to, like,
do that.
max.
Do you have to like restart your game to do that, or can you do that?
There's a JSON file, I think, that you can edit. Yeah, they don't have a setting in game to change the server settings before you restart it.
That's lame, but I'm glad you can do it at all.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Other than that, I really haven't been playing much in terms of variety.
Yeah, I feel like we are in a little bit of a dry spell, but that's okay. You know, like obviously everyone has backlogs and things they've meant to get to and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no, I've been playing through all the Pokemon games. I forgot.
Oh yeah, I was watching you stream SoulSilver a little bit.
Yeah, I've been playing through. I played through the Gen 1 remakes and just finished those.
Nice.
They aged really well.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh,
say
yeah.
much about Soul Silver because I didn't play Gen 2 that much.
Leaf Green,
thing-
Fire Red, still to this day, probably top 3 Pokemon games for me.
Fire
But
Red
I-
has this weird feature that I wish more games would have, where like when you turn it off, when you turn it back on, it like gives you a recap of what you
get
did
that
last time you
recap.
played.
That's so nice.
Oh yeah, I forgot
And
about that.
It annoys me in Fire Red specifically because I feel like it's so unnecessary. But like there are so many games where I wish I had that.
Yeah, but just
Like-
imagine if you pick up Fire Red and then like come back to it 6 months later. I feel like
Yeah.
that'd be pretty helpful.
I
Yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
like after playing through a little bit of Soul Silver, I didn't realize the difficulty spikes it threw at you for absolutely no reason. Because I've gotten stuck on 2 gyms so far.
Stuck. Wow.
Soul Silver is really nice because it is Gen 4, and Gen 4 has the Shiny Charm glitch.
It also has one of the slowest rates of everything scrolling.
Yeah. I
It
didn't
is-
think that carried into Soul Silver, does it?
No, it's everything scrolls so slowly.
Huh.
It's miserable.
I didn't notice.
Good thing I have fast forward.
I was hanging out with a friend and we did the Shiny Charm glitch. Is it Shiny or no, it's Cute Charm glitch where if you get the right trainer number, which is RNG manipulation, and then you have a Pokemon with Cute Charm, you can increase your shiny odds to 1 in 4.
That's absurd.
Yeah, I think literally my luck is super high right now because the first thing I do when I walk into a new route after going through Burnt Tower is encountering Entei.
Oh my gosh.
Literally first patch of
Nice.
grass.
I didn't even know you could that early.
I didn't know either. I couldn't catch him because I didn't have the setup for him.
Yeah.
But I encountered him. I found him.
Nah, I did the Cute Charm glitch and I was doing an all shiny run, but I only made it to like the 3rd gym before it just kind of got old.
Yeah, those gyms in Soul Silver really do wall you pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like Whitney walled me, and then the Ghost Trainer walled me.
Did you guys check out Minecraft 1.19 at all?
No.
I have not.
That came out. I've played it a little bit, but I literally haven't seen any of the new 1.19 features. I just kind of like playing Minecraft every once in a while.
Yeah.
But people are calling it the mild update, and I am inclined to agree. They added the Deep Dark and everything, and the ancient cities and all, but there's only like one reason to go down there, and it's not that good. And it just kind of, if they'd have had it done in time to be in the Caves and Cliffs update, I feel like it would have been super hype. And the fact that they're just kind of piecemealing all this stuff, I honestly think it's probably the worst managed project I've ever seen, like at this scale. And Microsoft
Yeah, I don't
seemed
know.
actually kind of like that's all they're capable of these days. Like, because Halo Infinite and Minecraft both feel like they're not being managed well at all.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've always said this about Microsoft, and I know it like comes off kind of weird because of my bias towards Sony, but I do feel like Microsoft, from a like I guess a management perspective, have yet to prove themselves. Right? Like obviously
Yeah.
their Forza studio can constantly deliver consistently, but aside from that, like their studios have yet to demonstrate to me that they can put out quality exclusives.
Like Minecraft specifically, just like this update, all it really added, it added the mangrove swamps, which have frogs in them. That's cool. It added the alley, which I expected to get cut, so I'm actually happy that that got in there. That's cool for Redstone. And then it added the ancient cities, which were supposed to be in an update literally over a year ago now. That was originally planned to be out. And like, I'm not mad that it took them a long time to do it. That's fine, whatever. But because we knew about it for so long, and like they piecemealed us like 1.17, 1.18, and then it was all the way to 1.19 before we actually had everything, I just don't care anymore. Like, it just doesn't feel like any of these updates alone were meaningful. And because I didn't experience them all at once, I don't care. It would have been better to have a 2-year dry spell and then get a big update, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of like I don't know. That's kind of how my experience with Minecraft is at the moment, because I don't think I've played for a couple years now. So I think the next time I play, it'll be
Oh well, if you haven't
have
played the
significant
Caves and
additions.
Cliffs update,
Yeah.
the new caves are actually amazing. Like they're very fun to explore. It's extremely fun. Like 1.18 was a good update. It's just it was only a good update because I didn't play 1.17 at all because it was a
Right.
bad update. And maybe that's how 1.19 will be. 1.20 will be decent. It's got such a good foundation. It's just like there's no reason to go to these ancient. Like they added these super scary areas, and realistically, you just shouldn't go to them. There's nothing there.
Yeah, maybe there's gonna be stuff there later, but that
Yeah, exactly.
sucks.
But why did they release it?
Yeah. All right. So the final game. So just yeah, I've been traveling quite a bit, right? And the Switch is the perfect companion for that sort of thing. So I've finally had the opportunity to play Bowser's Fury.
Oh yeah.
And let me tell you, Connor, you've been singing this game's praises for a long
Best
time
3D
now.
Mario.
I don't know if I'd go that far yet, but it is certainly extremely impressive. And it certainly is opening my eyes to what they can really do with Mario, right? Because, like, it's similar to Odyssey in the sense that you have these wide open areas with, like, collectibles. In this case, in Odyssey it was moons. In this game, it's cat shines. You have these cat shines all over the place. But unlike Odyssey, I feel like all of the cat shines have very interesting mechanics and like little puzzles on how to actually get them. Whereas like with Odyssey
in this game, like
yeah. Whereas with
actual
Odyssey, I feel
mandatory
like
platforming.
it was almost a sense of like there were too many moons, which meant like a lot of them were just like a slog to get.
Yeah, I forget. There's only like 60 cat shines or something.
Yeah, I think I have like 22 of them already.
Yeah, it's not a long game. It took me like 5 hours to 100% it, but
yeah, and like I really really like it. Like it's definitely, I think, Nintendo. After I've said this before, but having played it really reaffirmed it. But this is Nintendo experimenting and proving what they can do with Mario, 3D Mario in an open world format. And I do think it's very cool that like how the mechanics work with like Bowser and everything. Granted, like the Bowser fights are not very interesting, probably the least interesting part of the game. But how when Bowser appears, the levels change, right? And certain things you can only access while Bowser is active. And Bowser's only active for, like a minute or something like that. So, I don't know. It's really cool how, like, the entire world is just there, right? Like, every other Mario game, 3D Mario game, you have to, like, hop into paintings in 64 or, like, into planets or worlds or whatever.
The Odyssey somewhere. Yeah.
But like everything's just laid bare in this game, and you see somewhere you can go there, which like is a very common thing in video games. But Mario has not really delivered on something like that yet, and it works super well in that like the puzzles, like on a micro level, exist for Mario to go through or whatever. But whenever you become like a kaiju when you fight Bowser, those same like intricate little island level things, you can even like jump on those. They act as like the entire little platforms that previously you were like progressing through as like a level act as like platforms now because you're big. And it's just cool seeing that sense of scale being implemented and it just making sense. It just, I guess what I'm getting at is that like you can tell how thoughtfully designed this is, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, I see people, I've heard Arlo specifically recently like begging for an Odyssey 2. I would much rather have a full-length Bowser's Fury than an Odyssey 2. I like Odyssey. I don't think it begets a sequel in the same way that Bowser's Fury begets a full game.
So, okay, so there's a couple things in Odyssey I like better than Bowser's Fury. One is the moveset, right? Like, Mario felt better to control in Odyssey, in my opinion.
Right, so there's like this, there's this issue where, like, the better it feels to control Mario, the harder it is to make actual difficult platforming. Like, Mario has so many moves in Odyssey that, like, the platforming is basically effortless at any point in that game. And it's very difficult to make it hard at all. So, like, they had to take a lot of it, a lot away in, like, 3D World and Bowser's Fury to make the platforming actually hard to do.
And my other point in favor of Odyssey, which isn't, this one's kind of a cheat because like Bowser's Fury is a very short kind of like experiment, but Odyssey just had more. I feel like the levels were better in the sense that they were places. They had better music. They were vibrant. They were colorful. I wanted to explore them. Everything takes place on these islands in Bowser's Fury, and granted, the islands have some variety. There's like a snowy island, there's like a wasteland island, etc. But like
they just feel like
and obviously,
levels,
obviously, like that's not a real complaint because like if they implement a full game, like if they take the Bowser's Fury template and make a full 3D Mario out of it, obviously it's going to have the same level of like really nice.
I do wonder what that would look
stages
like,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
like would it be like a Mario Odyssey where you know it has a couple of really big worlds, or would it be one big? I really don't know.
Well, I would think, right, like it would have like an open area with scattered like ways to get the collectibles. Like they're like on the lake or whatever in this game. Like when you're riding the what's Nessie? Plessy. When you're riding Plessy, like there are cat shines you can get just like going between islands, just like isolated little puzzles like on the ocean, which is really cool.
It is, yeah.
And I imagine like whatever they do for the follow-up to this game, whether it's an ocean, whether it's like a Hyrule-esque field or something like that, whatever the connective tissue is between like the levels, that they'll be dotted with like interesting things to do. Like I just think there's so much potential here that has been showcased.
Yeah.
Which really makes me excited for the next Mario game. Like I feel like, and this is like an eye-rolly comment almost, but like we might see like a Breath of the Wild Mario type game, and I think it could actually work really well.
I already see it. It's Super Mario Bros. The movie, the game.
Gosh, yeah. But yeah, like I'm really enjoying my time with Bowser's Fury. And it's just a shame it's so short, right? Like I've already uncovered the whole map, and I've only played for like a couple hours at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
But
granted, the map changes. Like the levels change a little as you.
Yes, I have noticed that. Right, like if you go back to previous areas, they're slightly different. There's new cat shines you can get there, etc.
But it's a short experience. I like it because like, if I'm going to replay a Mario game, I'm way more likely to go to Bowser's Fury than I am Odyssey. Just because, like, for a replay, I don't want it to take a billion hours or whatever. You know, Odyssey took a very long time to 100%.
Right, yeah.
And also, like, I don't know, Odyssey doesn't have replay value in the same way, in my opinion. Unless you're going to, like, speedrun it or something, it doesn't have the same replay value. Because a lot of the stuff in Odyssey was a novelty, and it was really fun to discover it, kind of, explore that world. But once you've already seen the world, there's no... I have felt no value in returning to Mario Odyssey. Whereas, like, 3D World, I've played through more than once. And I think for the same reason 3D World was fun more than once, Bowser's Fury would be fun more than once. Because the platform, you know, the skill-based side of it is there.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic game. I'm glad I finally took the opportunity to play it. It's perfect for, like, travel and stuff. Because you can,
plane.
like, little bite-sized chunks of that game. All of it's good. That's another thing. Like, it's because it's so short, like, there are no, like, filler cat shines, in my opinion. Like, they're all interesting to a degree. Right, and I did not
mostly with the
did not feel that in Odyssey. Yeah,
there are some filler cat shines. Like there are a few where you just have to get Fury Bowser to like break a block or something, and you get a cat shine. Or towards the very end, there's like a magic island that like moves around, and you have to like get to the island at the right place to get the shine. Those feel a little fillery, but there's less than 10 filler shines in the game, I think.
I don't know. Just as a whole, it feels really tight. It feels concise, and it feels packed to the brim with really good level design and creativity.
Yes.
So that's it for me. Yeah. You gonna say something else?
I'm good. I'm done.
Oh, okay. All right, I think that is going to do it for us this week. Thank you all for listening. You can follow us at Podcast Game Talk on Twitter. Please like, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, etc., any podcast services you use. Click the link in the description of this podcast to join our Discord and talk to us there. Thank you, Connor and Mike.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye.